And I have found that, some people are very much thinking words, others kind of think in pictures. I think in pictures. My mind's kind of like Google for images.
Temple Grandin was born with autism in Boston, Massachusetts on August 29, 1947, to Eustacia Cutler and Richard Grandin. As an infant and toddler, Temple had very little speech, frequent temper tantrums, and didn't act like the little girls next door. At the time, autism was considered a mental disorder, not a biologic neurodevelopmental disorder. Temple's father thought she was brain damaged and should be placed in a mental institution.
Her mother disagreed and took Temple to Boston Children's Hospital to be examined by a neurologist, Dr. Bronson Crothers. She determined Temple didn't have brain damage or epilepsy. Dr. Crothers recommended intensive speech therapy and to hire a nanny to work with Temple in a structured environment so that she could learn turn-taking and social skills.
Temple began her school career at Dedham Country Day School. Both the teachers and children accepted her, which helped Temple succeed, despite her quirkiness. She was highly artistic and enjoyed flying kites or model airplanes. She was also fascinated with inventors and their inventions.
The teen years were tough for Temple. She attended an all-girls middle school but was constantly teased and bullied by her classmates. Temple went on to high school at Hampshire Country School but still faced similar problems. To escape the social pressures, Temple began to develop a passion for horseback riding.
In her junior year, Temple spent the summer at her aunt and uncle's ranch in Arizona, which proved to be a life-changing experience. Temple was fascinated watching the cattle line up for their vaccinations at the squeeze chute. A squeeze chute is a piece of equipment that holds a cow still to receive a medical treatment by applying deep pressure. Temple noticed that the cows were more relaxed after leaving the chute. She asked her Aunt Anne permission to climb in the squeeze chute and felt a calm, peaceful relief from her own intense daily anxiety.
Upon returning to school, she built a prototype and constructed her own squeeze machine. Her science teacher, Mr. Carlock, encouraged her to improve her design.
I had a great science teacher when I was in high school. I was goofing around in school. Now, I was learning how to work. I cleaned 8 horse stalls every day when I was 15. My science teacher got me interested in studying to become a scientist.
Her design would eventually be used in schools and treatment centers for children with autism.
Temple obtained an undergraduate degree in psychology from Franklin Pierce University and continued to experiment and research her squeeze chute design. Next, she pursued a master-level degree in animal sciences at Arizona State University. During her graduate studies, she investigated the behavior of cattle in various types of chutes. This idea was revolutionary since no one had ever made a connection between animal health or behavior with the design of an ordinary object used to handle animals.
Temple began her career by writing articles for the Arizona Farmer Ranchman magazine. Impressed by her knowledge, Temple was hired as the magazine's editor and started to gain the respect of her colleagues.
When I was in my 20s, everybody thought I was a geek and a nerd, but I'd take out and show them my drawings. And then I got some respect.
The recognition she received for her articles led to work designing equipment for feed yards and livestock processing facilities. Her innovative thinking provided solutions that helped keep the animals calm and easier to control.
In the 1970s, Arizona ranchers faced an outbreak of scabies in cattle. The only solution to treat the disease was to place animals in a pool of pesticide called a dip vat. For unknown reasons, some cattle would enter the dip vat, panic, and drown to death. Red River Feed Yard went to Temple to find the answer.
Temple redesigned the dip vat to let cattle enter the pool without slipping at a gradual angle, followed by a steep drop. This allowed the animals to gently plop into the water, swim to the other end, and exit free from mites. These drawings were generated in Temple's mind without the assistance of a computer. In addition, she designed curved corrals with single-file lanes that had solid sides.
Now the animals could walk naturally and prevented the cattle from seeing anything that might spook them. Temple's designs were cost-effective and met the needs of cattle comfort as well as safety.
During the mid-1990s, animal activists were publicly shaming the fast food industry for the cruel treatment cattle faced during slaughter. They asked Temple for solutions. As a result, Temple created an audit system that measures the humane treatment of livestock during processing.
She's also taught us that you manage what you measure. So now, instead of trying to evaluate animal welfare subjectively using our own opinions, we actually use numbers and we count things. Like, does the animal fall when he's walking through a plant? Or does he moo or squeal, which might tell us that he's under stress?
In 1997, the American Meat Institute published her guidelines for livestock handling called the Good Management Practices for Animal Handling and Stunning. The guidelines included an audit system which has become the gold standard for humane treatment of livestock and meat processing plants. This was the first audit system that used direct observation of an animal's behavior to measure the level of animal distress. Simply count the moose.
Temple has written over 400 articles in scientific journals and periodicals about animal handling. More than 50% of the cattle processed in the United States are processed in a plant that was either designed or redesigned by Temple.
She believes her success in the livestock industry is directly related to having autism. Temple believes that the autistic brain operates and thinks very much like an animal's brain. This gives her insight into how an animal will behave during the handling and processing for slaughter.
Well, I'm a visual thinker, and that helped me in my work working with livestock because you could visualize how cattle would act in different situations. And
The world discovered Temple's story in 1995 after Oliver Sacks published his book, An Anthropologist on Mars. She is the first person in the world to describe in words the experiences and challenges of an autistic person. Today, Temple has become one of the leading advocates in the autism community. She has written many books about autism, with 2 reaching the New York Times bestsellers list.
Her insight into autism has aided in the development of effective strategies to help people with autism. She believes that people with autism have value and that the world needs all types of minds. Temple has risen as a leader in the autism community by providing insight with adaptive solutions for living with autism and by tirelessly speaking on behalf of people with autism.
Her goal is simple: to help anyone with autism succeed. Temple expressed what she hopes her legacy will be by saying,
well, I'd like to see kids like you grow up and be successful, whatever careers you go into. And if I helped you do that, then I did the right thing.
Parents, doctors, therapists, and people with autism look to Temple as an example of what is possible to achieve despite having autism.
Through books, interviews, and public speaking, Temple's life story has positively impacted millions of people globally and propelled her to be one of the most admired leaders in the autistic community. Temple Grandin's inspirational story proves that autism is no longer considered a death sentence.
Through revolutionary work in animal sciences and endless advocacy for the autism community, Temple Grandin has positioned herself as a leader. Her legacy has positively impacted the lives of millions of people with autism and improved the welfare of animals. Temple Grandin is a hero in both the animal sciences and the autism community.
Her ability to think in pictures has transformed livestock handling equipment design, meat processing plant operations, and humane animal welfare guidelines. Grandin successfully navigated the challenges related to living with autism to become a respected leader in her chosen profession.
Her success has changed the perception of autism from disability to ability. Grandin's scientific research, innovative designs, and work in autism advocacy resulted in the creation of a rich legacy that will continue to be written.